Hello, and welcome to TED Talks of Education. My name is Brashay Leonard, and I will be talking to you about the positives of taking out standardized testing, period. A fun fact about standardized testing is that it's been around since the mid-1800s. When No Child Left Behind came along, it mandated all annual testing in all 50 states of the United States. Following the passage of the No Child Left Behind in 2002, annual spending of standardized tests went from $423 million to almost $1.1 billion in 2008. This is according to the Pew Center on the states. I'm here to give you 4 good reasons on why we should take out standardized testing completely. Number 1, these tests, they don't measure the skills that we need in life, as in critical thinking, creativity, or problem solving for that matter. I believe that we should focus more on whether and how a student performs during the whole year, whether it's their classwork, school projects, or tests, quizzes, all of that, instead of focusing on the standardized testing at the end of the year. Students have a lot of fun doing, their science projects and their math projects. I know when I was in school, we did a marrying phonics booklet. It was the hardest thing in the world, but what made it fun was that we got to decorate a booklet, and mine was marrying phonics. I had a joy. It was so much fun doing it and completing it. So I feel like it should focus more on those fun things, and it makes students want to learn more when you make school fun and not go by the curriculum that has to be taught and forcing them to take a test at the end of the year. Number 2, these tests aren't reliable in showing how well a teacher teaches, or in my opinion, how much a student knows at the end of the year. Don't give me that look. I know what you're thinking. Oh, we all study so good for our tests. No. We all, me including, had cram the last week of our finals, and some of us, me, crammed the night before, all night up studying, getting up early in the morning before class and studying just to pass that test. Once I put down the pencil, as well as I know you, all of that information went out of my head. I forgot it. I was ready for the summer vacation. So I feel like this test is more on memorization rather than what all you learn. You have to memorize that stuff, and you have to retain it in your memory, but most of us just forget it once it goes into our memory. After we take our test, it's done and over with. So if you have a good memory, you're going to do awesome on the test. But unlike some others, they don't have good memories and they can't retain all that information as well as others will. So they'll fail the test or make really low, which is unfair in my opinion. It just shouldn't be here. Number 3, we as teachers spend way too much time on trying to get our students ready for the end of the year exam. Instead of teaching our students to educate them, we end up starting to teach our students just how to take a test, when to take a test, what to do when you take a test, which is really backwards in the teacher's world in my opinion. Whether you pass one test should not be the deciding factor of whether you go on to the next grade or graduate. I know, in my opinion, if I would have failed my standardized testing, it would have been very, very sad. I would have been very upset because I know I've made good grades all year, and then for it just to be decided off one test, it wouldn't have been fair in my opinion. Lastly, number 4, the stakes are too high for this test. With the stakes being so high and so much stress being on the teacher, it causes a lot of stress on us teachers as well as our student body. We force our students to go through, you study this and you study that, and you need to memorize this and you need to memorize that. But it's just not what needs to be in our school system. If the students don't make high enough on the test, we as teachers will look down on. Oh, they don't know how to teach. They don't know what they're doing. We need new teachers in the system, which is not always true. It's just always some people aren't good testers. Some teachers are being so stressed on making their students pass this test. It's just stressing everybody out, and it's not being a good example to teach our students, as well as they're not going to make good if they're stressed out and worried about the testing. So the stress of students passing the test can cause teachers to do a lot of things, seeing as if the students don't make high enough, the student funding gets cut. I mean, no one wants their school funding to get cut. No one. So I feel like it shouldn't just be so stressful. We just had a case in Atlanta to where teachers forced their students' test scores because they wanted more school funding for the school as well as themselves. Of course, this was the wrong way of going about getting school funding and, going through all this stuff, but it's the perfect example of why and how it's so stressful on these teachers and to make their students pass the test. You never know, well, I guess you know now, how teachers will go to the extreme for their students to pass their testing. Of course, like I said earlier, it's not the right thing to do. But hey, if you want your school to keep funding, you don't want to lose your job, you'll do anything to keep your job. So like I said before, whether you pass or fail a test should not be the deciding factor of when you graduate or go to the next grade. So I hope I gave you multiple good reasons on why standardized testing should be taken out of the school system. Thank you and have a good day.